Guys, it's Art with Miss Therese again, and I'm Miss Therese, or I was the last time I looked. And we're going to continue on with pencils, and I do have my pencil with an eraser, but I also have my favorite pencil with no eraser, and it's because we talked about before, if you plan your line, you are going to get a better result. And if you don't like what you're doing, it gives you more opportunity to practice. So all we're going to need today is going to be white paper or something kind of light and pencil sharpener. This is, it says X-Acto, but I call it Ferrari. And I'm kind of hoping the X-Acto people might see this and perhaps want to think about helping us with our videos. So we're going to go ahead and start. One other thing. Just I make myself little notes about what I want to do in our classes, because sometimes I have a tendency to forget. So I think if you're going to draw things, sometimes it's okay to make a little list, and then you can kind of remember and have a little plan. Okay, so we're going to do what we did last time. All we're going to need is some white paper, and again, if you don't have any directly that's new paper, you can always find scraps. In fact, one of these times I think I'll just do the whole thing on scraps. A pencil, and if you've got an eraser on it, remember I can't see you erasing. And you know what we did last time, this was what I keep forgetting to do, is I'm just going to put my initials and the date, which is the 13th of November 2020. And that's just kind of give me a little bit of a reference, but you don't have to do that. We're not going to put a border or a frame on this because this is, again, it's just going to be like practicing. So do you remember we did scribbles last time? And I was thinking this time, let's do some scribble animals. And then a dot like this and a dot like that. So we have 3 dots. And then I actually have a dog that kind of looks like this. We can do a scribble dog. He's got kind of big ears that sort of stand up like this, and you can just sort of scribble it. You're not even going to outline it. You're just going to kind of fill sort of the whole thing in like this, and just kind of scribble away. You can make the inside of the ears darker by pressing a little bit harder. Okay, you can make the sides of the face a little bit darker like that. He's a very fuzzy dog, and I'll just kind of scribble in the rest of his body. I just sort of have fun doing this. There's so many things you can do with scribbles, and this is just kind of one of them. You could do a scribble cat. You could do a scribble dog with their ears that are kind of down and not up in the air. And I'm just, again, instead of outlining with a line, I'm just filling in. Here's his front leg. Sometimes the front leg will kind of go back a little bit like that. And then they've got their weight on their paws like that. There's the dog's chest. You could do a poodle like this. You could pretty much come up with any kind of animal you could scribble. And notice, I guess the fancy term for this would be value. So there's a darker value. This is the darker part. So we're working, and there's a lighter value, which is the lighter part. So we're working with different values here. That's probably not the right term, but sometimes I just sort of make things up. But what you're doing is you're just having fun sort of figuring this out. So there's it's almost done. And I can just sort of keep kind of working away on this. I can kind of shade it a little bit like this by pressing harder. And now that I'm looking at it, there's his chest, there's his shoulder, there's his back. I'm looking at it, his nose is considerably bigger. So there's a scribble dog for you. And I'm going to give him, using scribbles instead of a straight line, I'm going to give him a place to be. So there's kind of like, gosh, I seem to be able to not stop doing this. But you can have fun just making that. You could do the dog sitting down. And that way you could do just the front part of the dog with maybe his haunches on either side. So there's my scribble dog. You could do a scribble chicken, and I could do the scribble chicken different. We could go like this. So there's the chicken's neck. There's the chicken's tail. I'm just sort of lightly filling in just the chicken shape. This is a hen, not a rooster. So she's got a smaller tail. And then I'm going to put in her comb. That's the red part at the top. And wattle. That's the red part that's kind of right underneath the beak. And then I can just sort of scribble a beak in like that. And put an eye in like that. Scribble a wing in. Okay, go up there and make that a bit more even. Might make her a little bit fluffier. Scribble a wing in like this. So I use two kinds of scribbles with this. I'm going to scribble a little leg in there. And their chicken feet. Like that. So I use two kinds of scribbles there. I use this kind of scribble and I use that kind of scribble. So I hope you have fun with that and kind of come up with things on your own that you can make out of scribbles. So I'm looking at my notes here and I thought, well, we did the scribble animals, and the next thing on my notes, as you can see, I make little notes, is more things with letters. And I was thinking about the letter J. Okay, we're going to try these letters. And the letter C. Okay, and the letter I. And what you can do with the letter J, you can do a big letter J like that. You can turn the C over like this. Maybe make it not quite as complete. And then do other C's underneath it. Flipped over like that. And bring that J up there. Put the I through there. And we have an umbrella. You can lightly use that technique we use with a lighter line. I don't know if you remember, but when we did the leaves, we kind of tipped things with a little bit of a dark point. You can do that to maybe give it a little bit of depth. Okay. We can come down to here, maybe turn this into a handle like that. And then actually at the end of a sentence there's a period. So I don't know if you've noticed on umbrellas, but sometimes at the end there's like a nice little circle. And so there's an umbrella. Okay, we could do a little scribble on that like this, and maybe move that around with your, oh my gosh, I'm wiggling my table. Move that around with your finger. And then if it's raining, we did some lines like this when we were doing like grass, only we went up this way. But if you kind of go down this way, press and then lift. It's raining. And everything underneath my beautiful umbrella, I'm going to fill that in, is staying nice and dry. So that's what you can do with those letters. So I was thinking again, what if we take that same J, all right, and we take a B. I know this is kind of silly, but it's really kind of fun. Like that. And what if we took the B like this, okay? Like that. And we turn the J backwards like this. Look what I had a chance to make. I got to make some glasses. I could even turn them into sunglasses by just taking my pencil, leaving a little space for the reflection. And again, kind of scribbling back and forth like that. I've got a pair of sunglasses. The next one we can do, let me turn this over. You also can be using other parts of your paper. I'm not doing that right now so that you have a clear view of like what we're doing. We can take a C, okay? And we can turn that C upside down like this. Maybe not do it complete, and maybe kind of angle it like that. Add a line like this. Bring another line around like this, okay? Add an antenna. Add some landing gear. And some windows. And we've got a little alien ship. And then you can do action lines with that. Remember we did action lines with the leaves before? So we can kind of have that. It's entirely up to you. You could color it with crayons, with colored pencils. Here, I'm wiggling my table again. You could go like that. You could take an O and have a comet going through. You could take another O and put an ellipse around it like that, and you've got a planet. So just something kind of fun like this. This is just to kind of get you started with your imagination, and maybe a smaller planet there, maybe a bigger planet here. Maybe I'll color that one in. So there you go. You know, I forgot something. I don't think I explained ellipse very well. This is like a ball or a circle, which is actually a ball because it's a planet, it's round. And the ellipse is a circle that goes around it, but, and this is like the rings on Saturn. Someday we're going to do something with planets, that's for sure. Can you see that? Mm-hmm. Okay. So when you're looking directly at it, this is round, but as you turn it, look what happens. It's still the same shape. It's still in reality, it's still the same shape. But as you turn it, because of your point of view of how you're looking at it, the shape is going to change. And instead of being like a circle, it turns into an ellipse or an oval or kind of stretched out circle shape. And we're going to have fun with that. So, let me see. Time for a new piece of paper. So, now here's another thing. What I do sometimes too, if I'm working, sometimes it's easier for me to tilt my paper. And that's something for you to kind of figure out. Some of you are able to do it without tilting it. I kind of like to do that. It's whatever works for you. And again, remember, there is no right or wrong way to hold a pencil. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to do an ellipse like that. Again, ta-da. It's not exactly perfect, but it'll do. And then I'm going to, instead of bringing my sides, a lot of you guys that have been at Fall City Elementary know this, I'm going to bring my sides down like that, but I'm going to kind of bring them in a little bit. Now, I could draw a line straight across here, but I think what would work better would be a line with a curve. It's going to make it look a little bit more realistic. And if I wanted to turn it into, and again, I can hear you from Fall City students going, we know what this is. And I know we've done it before, but it's kind of fun to do it again. And like we've said, the more you do something, the better you're going to get at it. And I'm going to give the mug or the cup a surface, a place so it can sit down, just like that cup's sitting on a surface. And, we could do a little bit of this like here, okay? What I'm doing here is I'm actually going to have something in my cup, and it could be, I think I might want tea, and my hint that it's going to be tea is, look, a tea bag. But you don't have to have tea. It could be hot chocolate, it could be, you put little marshmallows in there if you wanted, it could be coffee, it could be whatever you want. And then I think just for fun, I might just put a little swirl in there like that. And again, that's just sort of a stretched out circle line. And maybe I'll make that look a little bit more realistic, like it's going to say something like tea. I could even write tea in there. And if I wanted it to be hot, I can do these little lines like this. And again, these are kind of similar to the action lines. But if this was steam, it could be water evaporating. So I'm going to have it be dark at the bottom with the lines and have the lines get shorter and lighter as it evaporates. And your steam could be like this if you wanted, just real light like that. You could do what we've done before, and your steam could be, you could have your steam like that on the side of the pencil. Doesn't matter. It's all entirely up to you because you're the artist. Now, I might put a design around my cup or my mug. But again, looking at this, whatever you're going to put around, it's going to wrap around it. So you don't want a straight line. You want a line that's going to kind of follow the curves, just so it looks realistic. Now, if you want a straight line, you can go ahead and do that. I'm just giving you suggestions. The most important part about any of the things we do in art is that you get a chance to have your hand wrapped around a pencil and get to work. I might do a little bit of shading, like that. Okay, and I'm just shading one side because the light's coming through from here. We'll do a lesson on that later. And then I might do, what if I did a design with this, like this. And I could color those in, or I could actually, again with the techniques we have, any way you want to fill it in, you can. And I could have light dots with a background. And again, these ones might be a little bit darker because it's a little bit shady on that side. Okay, so there's a mug, and you can do this with oil pastels later, which we probably will. I have a feeling that we're probably going to do something like this. But again, this is just a basic, just to kind of, and try a bunch of these. Try practicing with them. Try doing, you could do a smaller cup like that. Again, remember to keep it round at the bottom. You could put the handle on the other side. You could have it without a handle. Any way you wanted to do it. Time for a little bit of pencil sharpening because we have been really using this. Now, here's another one that I kind of thought of that I thought would be sort of fun. We're going to hold our pencil like we did in the previous pencil video, where you just kind of hold it like this. And I'm going to tilt my paper because it's easier for me, but you don't have to. I'm going to do some horizontal lines like this, and I'm going to make a fairly big square like that. I think I might make it darker at the top and then kind of gradually let up the bottom. And you can do a lot of practicing with this. You can go like this. You can do some small ones to begin with if you want to practice. And then you don't have to be darker at the top, but I thought for the effect of what I'm going to do, and it kind of might surprise you. Do you remember our Y trees that we did? So I thought, let's do a thicker, darker Y tree. So what you could do is you could outline your Y tree. I'm going to have it kind of tilting so it looks a little bit, I'm going to have it look a little bit spooky. I'm kind of into, it's November and it gets dark earlier where we live. And I'm going to thicken up that trunk. And again, it's just the Y tree, but we're just adding a little bit more to it. And just again, using a harder pressure to make my line darker. When you press hard, it's going to be darker. When you press light, it's going to be lighter. And just sort of have fun experimenting and seeing what you could do. Again, all we've done here is just pencil and paper. And I think I'm going to put some grass down here. You might have a different way to do it. I just like to take my pencil, press hard and let up like this. This is a real simple drawing, but it's kind of my spooky tree. I could do a whole bunch of them. But look what I'm going to do now. I'm thinking, what if there's a full moon coming out? And again, I'm using my eraser here. And look what I did there. I made kind of a moon. And then maybe I might have some bats out. There might be some bats flying around like that. So again, just real simple techniques. This is a little bit rough. You might want to spend a little bit more time on it. But this is just, again, just to kind of get you started. So we did a little more with pencil and practicing with different pencil techniques. And I know that it's not very technical what we're doing, but I want you to just enjoy it and explore it and practice. We did Scribble Dog and a Scribble Chicken. We did, this one was kind of fun, we went back to the alphabet. And it's okay. Guys, it's just my dog, my other dog. He's like, he barks sometimes and adds a little color to these videos. We did Psy. Actually, I'll tell you this one. This is kind of what he looks like. So anyway, we took J and C and I and made an umbrella and did some more techniques with making a little bit of rain. And then we took a J and a B and we made a pair of glasses and turned them into sunglasses. But you don't have to have these sunglasses. And then you can kind of use that to, just as a way to kind of start out drawing glasses. And we took C and we made a spaceship. And we took O's, I forgot to mention that part, we took O's and made planets, and I think a comet, and we have action lines on this one. And then we did, and again, Fall City people, you know this one, and some of you that have seen previous of my videos, the little ellipse lesson and wrapping a design around like a cup, and then just practicing. And we did steam, different ways of doing steam. And what I'd like you to do is just use your imagination and see what you can come up with. And then, last but not least for this video, we used that pencil technique where we held the pencil a little bit differently and made a dark kind of spooky sky and a wide tree, and took our eraser, I'm going to do that even actually a little bit more, and made like a full moon. But you could also think about other things too. You could do some different designs in there. It's just technique and what you decide you want to do with it. So I need to, because she's in all these videos, I need to go get Brisket, my puppy. We've got Brisket back again, right? And I did wake her up from another nap. She's getting so big that she's just growing like a weed. I'm not sure how much longer I'm going to be able to put her in my lap, but she's just saying hi to everybody. Keep drawing, and I will see you next video.